I'm here in my garage with my Jetta, but you know what's better than my Jetta? A dash cam. Not any dash cam, Torvo 4K dash cam, which they were gladly to send out to me for review. So we're going to be installing it on my complete collapsed Volkswagen Jetta and seeing how well it works, and if it's actually worth your money. Let's unbox it and make sure we have everything we need. Once you open the box, you should be greeted with the dash cam itself, the manual, a trim pulling tool, and a 64 gig SD card. Inside the smaller box, you also find the power cable and the rear dash cam, which is also adjustable. Now that we got everything unboxed, let's talk a little bit more about the dash cam itself. This is a 4K dash cam with a 3.2-inch front display, loop recording, GPS, and night vision. The front lens is 170, while the rear is 150, giving you plenty of field of view for accidents or any morons on the road. There's also a companion app that lets you download and review all of your footage. So honestly, it's got pretty solid specs for a dash cam, but we still don't know how it actually performs, so let's get this thing installed on my clapped Jetta. The first thing you want to do is find where you want to mount the dash cam. I'm putting mine right in front of the mirror so it's visible to me but doesn't take up my whole dash. Next, we need to run the power cable. It's a USB Type-C cable that plugs into a 12-watt outlet, perfect for most cars. I'm running mine from the center console through the side trim in the passenger's footwell, up to the side airbag trim. Make sure you don't route it in front of the airbag or you could run into some issues. Then I wrapped it around the A-pillar, across the top of the headliner, and then down to the dash cam. You could also run it on the driver's side, but I decided to use the passenger side since I plan on running the rear camera along the driver's side of the car. So with the front camera plugged in, the next step is to run the rear camera. Head to the back of your car and choose your mounting spot. I'm putting mine right under the rear taillight and running the cable along the driver's side down through the A-pillar, under the seat cushions, through the floor trim, and up to the driver's side door panel, and then into the headliner. The last thing we need to do is install the SD card, which goes into the slot on the side of the dash cam next to the USB Type-C and the rear camera ports. And that's it. Installing a dash cam is pretty simple. The hardest part is just making sure everything looks clean. So let's take it out for a drive and see how good the actual footage is. This is the footage straight from the dash cam. This is the front camera, and honestly, it looks pretty good for the most part. I do think some of the colors are blown out or a little too saturated in certain areas, and the depth of field definitely isn't the greatest. But at the end of the day, it is a dash cam, so this is on par with most dash cams out there right now. This also features a low light sensor, so hopefully it performs better at night than other brands. Overall though, I think the footage is solid, it captures full detail. I have been able to zoom into license plates when I'm going through the footage and see it very clearly. I also wanted to throw in a quick comparison between the dash cam footage and my DJI Action 5 Pro. You can immediately tell that the Action 5 Pro picks up a lot more detail, rich colors, and has a more of a sharper image because the bitrate's a lot higher. But again, it's a $300 action camera versus an $89 dash cam. For the price, the dash cam definitely holds its own. As for the rear camera, yeah, there isn't much to say. It works as a dash camera, but the colors are muted and the detail is pretty washed out. This is definitely a low resolution sensor, and honestly, it reminds me of the cheap Android phones from like 2014. But again, it gets the job done for what it is. The one thing I should have mentioned, the microphone. There is a mic on the dash cam, but my car is so loud, it rattles and pops consistently. These tiny built-in mics aren't designed for that type of noise range, so the audio isn't great, especially in my car. So overall, I think the front camera is really good for a dash cam. It gets the job done and the image quality is solid for the price. The rear camera is okay, it's definitely weaker than the front one, but that's typical. The front is the star of the show, while the rear is more of a backup. For what you pay, I think the overall package is pretty good. The last thing I wanted to talk about is the app. The one that they provided with the dash cam works pretty well. It took me a little while to figure out how to set it up, but since I got it going, it's pretty straightforward. This is also where you can view your GPS data, your turns, and what road you're on, and how fast you're going. To be honest, I kind of got weirded out at first because I didn't realize it tracked every turn you make, and it knows your exact speed. It will show in the playback when you turn or take a left or take a right turn. I'll have an arrow telling you which way it went. So I thought that was pretty interesting. But that's probably just me. It did throw me off for a second. At the same time, it's pretty cool because if you get into an accident or something happens, you can see exactly where you were and how fast you're going. I'm definitely going to be picking up 2 more for my other vehicles. I would like to have dash cams on all my cars, specifically because if I get in a car accident, I like to be covered by my insurance. So when they hit me up and said if I wanted to review a dash cam, I said, sure, why not? And honestly, I was pretty happy with how this thing turned out. Yeah, the rear is not the greatest, but the front camera definitely holds its own, and the low light performance is pretty good. So if you're in the market for a dash cam, not looking for something that would break your bank account, this would be a solid dash cam to buy, and I definitely think it's worth its $89. In fact, I'm gonna go buy 2 more. So at the end of the day, if this is something you're looking for, and you're looking for a decent quality for a dash cam, I definitely recommend picking it up. But otherwise, peace out, have a good one, and I'll catch you in the next video.